am going to tell you all about my science lesson plan that I am able to do with my elementary placement, 4th grade class. They are working on Earth's landforms and features, and so I'm just going to go over that with you and show you my Nearpod and all my activities that we're going to do. I'm very excited. It's supposed to be a very fun lesson. Originally, I wasn't going to do this part. I was going to do an erosion part after this lesson, but because this lesson was so hands-on, I was just like, I have to do it. So, to start off, my central focus of this lesson is, of course, what I said earlier. This lesson is a part of a unit plan of Earth landforms and features, and the central question of this lesson plan is, what are Earth's features? So, also the central focus of this particular kind of miniature lesson, but it's not really a miniature lesson, is a tectonic plate activity, forming mountain ranges, deep ocean trenches, volcanoes, and earthquakes. There are some prerequisite skills that they should have already gone over. However, our main standard is 4.ESS 2.2, interpreted maps and determine that location of mountain ranges, deep ocean trenches, volcanoes, and earthquakes do occur in a pattern. And that's just only a miniature part of the entire standard that we are going to go over. Our objectives today are the student will interpret maps and explain how mountain ranges, ocean trenches, volcanoes, earthquakes, and all that occur in patterns using Nearpod activities. We are going to use some materials given by me and our mentor teacher, and we are going to let the students demonstrate the difference between each of those formations, and then as well as at the end of it, we are going to let the students eat the activity, and they're going to do an exit slip, and that way, the students will correctly answer and explain how different landforms are regulated and all about tectonic plates. So, very excited. There are some formative assessments, open discussions. I will use prompt questions to further their learning. Of course, the exit ticket, and then my mentor teacher is going to evaluate the student's ability to answer the questions to better understand their comprehension. The summative assessment, this is pretty much not a review, but this will be on their TCAP, so this will be at the end of the school year. Assessment commendations are things like the students will be taught and regroup during their intervention period, which is at the end of the day. So if they don't quite understand the standard, then my mentor teacher will put them into small group, or if she asks me, I could take them into a small group. Of course, we will have to go with my students' IEP and just kind of see alternate modifications that we could do for them. The materials that they need for this lesson is a pencil, of course, an exit slip, their Nearpod, so their device, prompt questions, of course, some graham crackers, red sprinkles, Cool Whip, red dye, plates, cups, water, and technology. Their technology, obviously, will also have their Nearpod all set up. So the key concept of this lesson is that the students are going to demonstrate mountain ranges, deep ocean trenches, volcanoes, and earthquakes in a pattern. The students will be using this information to form those patterns and to provide a conclusion on the exit slip. Academic vocabulary in this is, I've been saying it all throughout this video: mountain ranges, deep ocean trenches, volcanoes, earthquakes, and divergent, convergent, and transform plates. Boundaries. Language function, academic language. So this is just the language function. So the students are going to describe, demonstrate, interpret, explain, analyze, and have some conclusion in there. So yeah, that is the kind of the background information, and I'm going to show you the procedures and timeline. Hey guys, so I am going to show you my Nearpod activity for my science lesson plan. I'm going to share my screen. And this is my Nearpod. So Nearpod is kind of like a PowerPoint or a Google slide, but Nearpod has a lot of activities inside of this website, and you'll see some of them. So we're going to start on with our phenomenon, and our phenomenon is part of our 5E model of instruction in science. This is really important for us to do. 5Es are explore, explain, elaborate, engage, and then evaluate. And we're going to start with our explore part. So our phenomenon, this first slide is pretty much for the students to get close attention. This is our introduction. I am wanting them to like think, wonder, see. So like on the next couple of slides, like the students should ask internal questions like, what do you see? What do you think? And what do you wonder? And then we'll have a class conversation about it. Looking at this introduction, so while they're viewing these images and they could click through and look at all of them, they need to ask themselves, like, not only like, what do you see? What do you wonder? What do you think? But like, when they have our group conversation, their teacher's very big on giving them prompt questions. So like, the students should raise their hand and say, I noticed there is blah, 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 blah. I noticed that the volcano is red on the top. There is, or is that lava? Since I see the rocks, I think that there's a cave. Just simple questions on just like that'll get the students to think while just prompting them. And whenever they have these pictures, they're not looking at the sky. They're told to not like look down here at the ocean. They are literally just going to look at the picture and the main idea. So what do they think that it is, or what do they wonder about it? They're not just looking at all these trees, they're looking at the mountain ranges. They're questioning, they're asking questions and whatnot. And then from then we are going into our meat of our lesson, which is Earth's landforms and features. And so we're going to say, okay, let's talk about this picture. Is it just like the pictures we've seen before? This is a volcano erupting. What are landforms? And then we are going to go into our landforms of that. It's just, it's a natural feature of the Earth's surface. There's a little error right there. Don't mind that. I will go in and fix that. And platforms that are formed, another error, my bad, that are formed over time. We will go up and I'll have some volunteers to go up on the board and just kind of go with their finger and just kind of map out how many tectonic plates there are, and where specific, like, are they in the ocean or are they on land? and we'll really go in detail with that. Then we'll go more into detail about tectonic plates, and here's a different map because visuals are very important for our fourth graders. And then we will get into these a land in motion, which is we're only going to talk about tectonic plates in this lesson. This is very not a mini lesson, but just kind of getting them because we want to get to the meat of the activity, which is our Cool Whip. And so we only want to just briefly go over these. They do not have to know the names of it for TCAP. However, it is very important for them to know like the different ways how these plates move. So I also underline like important words for them to understand, and also visuals are very important for them to know, and they're really about to get into the visuals in our activity. So for our activity, we are going to investigate, and this is our engaged part. So we already went to the explore our phenomenon. We did a lot of class discussions. We explained if they had any questions. We elaborated on what is a tectonic plate, and now we are on our investigation, our engagement part. So this is the materials that the students need. And all of this is I am going to provide with my mentor teacher. We are going to let them, all of this has already been set up for them, and I'll explain reasons why. So we are going to divide these into like squares for the tectonic plates. The red food colorings to go into the Cool Whip, that's already done and finished. And that is to be like magma, like lava. And then the red sprinkles should represent rocks, and we'll sprinkle that on top. Also, kids love sprinkles. And then obviously we need plates and a cup of water for the last part of our activity. So, and then to go from that, we are going to, once we handed out all the materials and all of that, the students are going to listen to the directions I'm going to say, and we are going to, they're practically going to show the different ways how the plates move, and they're going to use their fingers, and you'll see in this next slide how they should have their stuff set up. So when we got set up, this is exactly what it's like. It doesn't have sprinkles on it, but that's okay. So this is exactly how their plate is looking by now. This is only for a visual, so they can look up and be like, okay, my plate should look like this. I will tell them, when I say go, you are to hold your graham crackers and move them back and forth, back and forth. And this is this is the, I'm trying to think, the transform boundary. So with the transform boundary, they are literally moving in different directions. Okay. And this is how what they should look like. After a couple of minutes like that, maybe 1 or 2, they should have something very similar to this. We're going to talk about this. What type of landform is this making? And a lot of them should say mountain ridges. They're making mountains pretty much. The land is coming up. And then we're going to say stop, okay? And they're going to put their hand on their graham crackers, and I'm only going to say, I want you to pull away. Now, you could go back and forth, but we don't want that. We just want them to just pull apart. And this, for this visual, the students will have something looking like this. And so this tells us, what does this look like? Well, this looks like an earthquake. What happens when earthquakes happen? The lands are pulling apart the plates. And so we're going to have a group discussion about what they see, go into deep critical thinking with this one and the last one. And then the next one is, I think it's, yes. So with this one, and that the other one was, oops, where is it at? The other one is not transform, but my mind, and divergent. So this one was divergent. And now we're going to go to our last one, which is convergent. So this is our convergent one. And so they already have a little tiny cup with water that they are only going to dip one side of their, let me use this as an example. They're only going to dip one side of their graham cracker in the water, and they're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop, put it on your plate. And the other one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. They are going to put it together like this, and they're going to have them touching just like that. Okay. And when I say go, they are going to push both things, push both crackers together. And when that happens, this is something that they should get. Now, if some of theirs breaks, that's okay. What does this form? I want them to refer this back on what is happening. How does it feel? I just want them to just investigate what is going on. We will have an open discussion after this. I think this is it. Oh, of course, after we get done with those 3, convergent, divergent, and transform, they are to, of course, eat it. And then afterwards, make sure that their desk is clean and they need to sanitize. After that, we will go into some discussion questions. And our discussions while they're eating. So what happens when you move the graham cracker back and forth? What happens when you move the graham cracker apart? What type of plates did it make? I want to test their knowledge and see, even though they don't have to know it, it's good for them to know. And just kind of simple questions like that. After they get done eating and cleaned up, I will pass them an exit ticket. And this is because it goes by so fast. They will have 5 questions on the exit ticket. And I will show you that. So this is my exit ticket, and the first question is, what are tectonic plates? How are tectonic plates affecting us? That's the second question. Third question is, why do tectonic plates move? And then they're going to draw the tectonic plates. And then the 5th question, and it doesn't show it here, and this is our 5th question. They're just going to tell me how they feel about the lesson, if they feel good about it, if they don't know anything about it, or if they need more help or just kind of feel bad about it. So yeah.